Welcome back to Havoc Rundown. Tonight we're gearing up to the biggest showdown of the year, the NHRL Championships, happening December 6th. We'll be previewing the field, making predictions, and diving deep into what makes the fight at the highest level. Joining us is someone who's done just that across nearly every weight class that we know. You know him as the driver of Saul Blaze on BattleBots and the mind behind Megatron, Psycho, and Silent Spring, some of the most consistent and dominant bots in NHRL history. He's an engineer by trade and one of the most respected builders in the world of combat robotics. Please welcome Jamison Go! Thank you for being on, Jamison.
Thanks for having me. It's really great to be on.
We have all been very excited, and our listener base was pretty excited to have you on and ask you some questions, which we'll get to later. So, yeah, thank you for talking to us. It's not just me. We also have the full crew here tonight, so please help me in welcoming the Game Master, Ryan Hunter.
Hello there.
The Liaison, Ashley Beckman. The Wild Card, Thomas Carroll.
Wait, so you're telling me your birth certificate really says Jamison greatest of all time?
And the artist, Tony Baker.
Hey, everybody.
And of course, I'm Justin, your host. So let's get into the episode. As usual, we are going to be rolling right along into Ryan's Game Corner. We have a little bit of a twist this episode since this is our December championship episode to preview the championship tournaments. We're going to be combining our look ahead into the championship tournament with Ryan's Game Corner, and Ryan has a little bit of a draft for us. So Ryan, let's go over to your Game Corner and tell us how that's going to work.
Okay. Hi, everybody. We're going to be doing a snake draft tonight. Does everybody know how a snake draft works?
No.
You stay away from the rattle.
I've got absolutely no idea what you're on about.
You reach into a hole and you pull out a snake?
No. Okay.
Ready for this?
A snake draft works that you start, that everybody gets a chance to draft one robot. And then we're going to go down the line, and as a snake, it's going to curl back around. So whoever is the last one to draft is going to be able to draft the first in the next round. So you get to do two. Tonight we're going to do champion robots, but I am going to do superlatives. So I have three categories here, and you're going to pick a robot from the championships that you would like to draft to fulfill these. The three categories are best aesthetic, fastest KO, and the cage breaker.
Very cool.
I have already pre-generated the order that we are going to go in. The order is Thomas, Tony, Ashley, Jamison, and Justin.
Well, I should probably find the list of robots.
I knew Thomas wasn't going to be prepared.
Don't worry, I just did the same thing.
Is it bad that I am also looking up the list of robots?
Well, you're doing
Pick yourself.
like four of the weight class.
You have three different robots. You can pick yourself 3 times.
I should have studied this stuff, you know?
So,
You're fighting in every class. You should know this.
Oh, perfect. I found printable brackets.
there you go. Printable brackets.
Well, Marquez.
Just a note for any listener who's not aware, we have a fantasy league that we started this year that is coming to a close with the championship. That we do this every event. Every event, the members of the fantasy league draft their rosters for that event, and then this championship, the rosters are going to be pulled from any of the bots that they have drafted this year that are in championships. So that draft is going to be taking place on, December 2nd, I believe?
Yeah.
Yes.
December 2nd.
December 2nd.
Oh, the draft is on the 2nd.
The draft's on December 2nd. And then we'll see who wins the tournament, which I believe Aiden from A-Star Robotics is currently ahead, with Dan from Brandeis in second place. So
Dan Bashino.
Yeah. So take it away, Ryan.
Oh, and Tony already has the trophy already printed and ready to go. And it is beautiful. All right. So Thomas, why don't you start the draft with best aesthetic?
Oh, this is an easy one. The robot that I'm going to pick is bi. Parentheses bi.
You are ridiculous. Okay.
Wait, no.
bi.
Got a better one.
No. You already picked. You already picked.
Actually won.
Yeah.
Stunning.
It's just a picture with nothing in it. All right, Tony. Best aesthetics.
What? No, let Thomas pick an actual robot. He's
All right, Thomas.
Kablooey Tango.
Okay, Kablooey Tango. Why are you picking Kablooey Tango?
Because they just have the greatest aesthetic. They've got the whole like cell shaded look to it. It doesn't even look like a real robot. It looks like
it was
came out of a comic book.
The Halloween one was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
All right.
Switching back to the normal for this event.
Yeah. All right, Tony.
I'm gonna take the Undertaker.
Okay, you're taking Undertaker.
For my robot.
Why are you taking Undertaker?
Black to kill things, you know.
Yeah. Ashley.
I'm going with Grim Reaper 12.
Okay.
The lights on it and everything. I'm hoping that Nelson has something good up his sleeve.
Okay. Jamison.
Guys, I'm kind of surprised no one has said this yet. Maximizer, come on. It's not just the robot. The
It's a way of
whole
life.
Jake
I
and the
know,
whole
I know.
team is the aesthetic. He lives, he acts the whole thing.
Oh, it's not
Maximizer
that.
is 200% aesthetic.
I love it.
I love it.
That's
So good.
accurate.
All right.
Yeah,
That's my pick.
I was actually going to say Maximizer. That was actually mine. My backup though, I believe is going to be Chainsaw Kitty. Just because I love Kasaya's whole aesthetic with that robot. Just not only how the robot looks, but just how she it's just part of her personality. So
I love it. I'm shocked that no one picked Eruption, to be honest. It's such a good looking robot. It's got such good graphics and everything.
Emperor were my other picks.
Yeah. All right, Justin, this is a snake draft. So who would you like to draft as the fastest KO of the day at Champions?
I'm going to say, Jamison, I believe in you, and take Megatron.
Okay.
So wait, to be clear, fastest KO, not the one getting KO'd, but the one giving the KO.
The one giving the KO, yes.
Yeah,
the one
okay.
winning the KO.
I
Yes.
wasn't
You
sure
read
what
my
that
mind.
picked just then.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think if we were trying to pick the one who is getting the KO, the fastest KO, that would be kind of mean.
I don't know, but
It's very
Jason is
hard.
here and I had to take that opportunity.
Jameson, what do you think?
This is tough. I'm feeling some Ares energy, you know?
Okay.
He's gonna do a line drive, spin up, while crossing the box, hit someone in the wrong spot, and everything's gonna go right for him. Hopefully it's not me.
Awesome. Okay. Ashley?
I'm gonna go with Slam Plan.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good
Because
one.
he had a couple
That's a good
last
choice.
event.
Yeah.
I literally just sat at the cage stunned. So go ahead, Brendan.
Okay. Tony? Fastest KO?
I'm going with Impact.
Impact. Okay. Going into the Beatles with Impact. I don't remember. I'm not quite sure of what Lars's oh, there it is. Sorry, I'm making it bigger.
I thought you were
I'm
making
not sure.
it small on purpose because it was a beetle.
That would have been a good plan. Okay. No, I'm not sure what Impact's how did I spell it with a K? God.
I actually
All
think
right,
it is the K.
No,
Is it a
honestly.
K?
IMPAKT.
Damn it.
You were right.
Okay.
And actually, on the NHRL registration, it's in all caps. If that matters to you.
See, now I'm gonna have to do it over and over and over again.
Well,
That
to
totally
be
matters.
fair, Ron is also an all.
Yes. All right.
There's no
All right.
doubt.
All right. Yes. I love Impact. I think Impact is is a KO artist. I'm really looking forward to that. Thomas, the last fastest KO.
I'm doing a little bit of math. So I'm trying to check who's fighting who, because there's it's not going to be a 3-pound. If it was to break the cage, it would have had to be like one of the flamethrower bots.
Cage Breaker is next.
I was going to say,
So
you're going
the
to KO
fastest
right.
KO.
Oh, fastest
Yeah.
KO.
Whoa.
It's
Yeah.
going to be Corey. Since the synthesis 30, he's going to split someone in half again.
Awesome. I hope so.
That'd be fun. Okay, so now for Cage Breaker.
Now you're on Cage
It's
Breaker.
not going to be a
Yes.
3-pound. We don't have any flamethrowers. Not going to be a 12-pound. Jack Maximizer just learned how to stop breaking the cage. So
Yeah.
Has he?
it's got to be one of these 30 pounds. And I want to initially just say Ares. Ares gets a bye, so he fights Termigator or Anxiety. And that could be what happens. I'm going to have to go with Ares. It's going to be their first match. They're going to break the cage early on in the day.
Okay, you're saying Ares. I thought there was a pretty obvious answer to this, but okay.
Well, that's just what you think.
Yep. All
We're
right,
going to find out, though.
Tony.
I'm going with Chonkus.
That's what I was looking for. That's what I thought the first one was going to be. Okay.
I knew it wasn't going to get to me. That's the one that I was waiting for. I was like,
Yeah.
but no, someone's going to take it before me.
Yeah, how many times has Ares broken the cage already? This
A
season?
bunch. A bunch.
That's true.
Ashley. Cage Breaker.
I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna go with Dead Rise.
Okay.
I think Joe's gonna hit that cage wrong and it's gonna break.
All right.
Ah.
Ashley's
Where's he
going
gonna
to
hit the cage?
Dead Rise.
I was
Come
gonna
on,
say,
Jamison, don't
say
take
that.
mine.
Actually, what I was gonna say is like, by cage breaking, is it the robot, like hitting the robot that hits the cage that does the break,
Yeah, the one that throws the other robot.
or is it the one that actually like hits the cage?
All of the above.
All of the above. I
Yeah.
remember that was at the event before was like Ares Dead Rise, where they like launched Dead Rise and cracked the glass or something like that.
Yep.
Is that like that's like a participation? They both win, right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think in that, yeah, they both win. I think this is most likely to be involved.
That crack was right near me.
I wanna put in some. I'm gonna put in for some Emperor action.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big bar energy, you know.
You're right. You right.
All right. We got Emperor. I love
She would like that.
I love how Jamison could have picked both of his bots for fastest KO and Cage Breaker and then just literally just done it. Like that could have been how he'd win.
J-Mo picked Cage Breaker and then intentionally destroyed the cage.
All day long, they're like, why is Jamison attacking the cage all day? What's going on?
This matters for nothing other than superlatives.
All right, Justin, why don't you end us here for Cage Breaker?
End us all.
Emulsifier?
Okay. Yeah.
That was my other.
Reasonable pick.
Although
Which is
I
gonna
think
be
like,
a wild fight one, by the way.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. That might just be it right there.
How? Yeah, that might be it. That literally might be it. Emulsifier versus Emperor. That's nuts.
Yeah. I mean we kind of chose the 5 right here. That have the, like
Literally,
we
there
kind of
was
had
no
our
other
finger on the
answer.
pulse. These are the top 5 most likely to break the cages. Just right
Yeah.
there. So
Do us proud, robot builder.
All right. For the listeners, we have for best aesthetic, Kablooey Tango, Undertaker, Grim Reaper 12, Maximizer, and Chainsaw Kitty. For fastest KO, we have Synthesis 30, Impact, Slam Plan, Ares, and Megatron. For Cage Breaker, we have Ares, Chonkiv, Dead Rise, Emperor, and Emulsifier. I can figure out the fastest KO in Cage Breaker, but I'll tell you what, listeners, why don't you tell me who you think wins best aesthetic after championship, and we'll see who wins.
Take a
All
vote.
right. Unlike most episodes, I can't tell you who wins this, but we will see after next episode.
What do you mean? I'm gonna win all of them.
All
Just
right.
down the line.
Well, I'm going to save these off to the side, and then on event day, I'll be watching and paying attention to see who wins.
Will not be paid.
Wait, I
I'm
did
gonna
not
make sure
choose.
Jake has extra robot color stickers on his to ruin his aesthetic.
Wait,
Oh no,
Ryan,
I'm going to ruin his aesthetic. I'm going to make a smiley face all day long.
Hey, who decides?
I'm going to go find some extra sticky stickers for Maximizer.
Well, hold
Um,
on. You gotta bring
can-
back the cat stickers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they are packed and ready to go already. They're coming.
Hey Ryan, can you just make a change? I chose Megatron, not Megatron.
I thought that's how it was.
Nope, there's no dash, and the RON is capital.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, so we are looking forward to championships. Like we were saying, there's going to be some crazy fights, especially that right out of the gate, the Emperor and Emulsifier. Best of the best over the entire year is coming. So just close off this section with who are you most excited to see? Just what one bot, which fight or which bot you're most excited to see coming to championships, and who do you think is going to be on top? So I'm just gonna say, I'm not trying to pander, but Jamison, we always love seeing you fight. So all three of your robots being there with we know that you have them buttoned up and you know how to get them all fixed and stuff, but just seeing you again have three bots in championships is just awesome. Love it. Anybody else want to?
Oh, it's so hard to pick just one to talk
it's
about.
Literally so hard, but I will go. No, I'm cutting Ryan right off.
Okay.
I will say that I'm super excited, and I'm gonna pick two because I can't pick one. I'm excited this year to see some of these young guns like Sad Octopus and Sir Slicey. I'm really excited. I've loved watching them develop, and watching Evan win was just incredible. And so I just really, really hope that they have as good of finals as they've had some other tournaments, because they're really incredible.
Cool. I think I am looking forward to seeing Lil Lash again. I really loved Lil Lash when it came to Norwalk last time. I think it's a really awesome 30-pounder and really well driven. And I was actually really happy to see him qualify and be like, awesome. It comes to championships as well. So, yeah.
I always
I'm
like the
excited to
bots
see
that are
the
like
30-pound
the ones
robots
that,
get some fights.
that don't normally make it. Kind of like
Yeah.
Murphy's Law. Let's think like those little bots that are like this. Oh my God, we've made it, and they didn't expect it.
Jamison, other than your robots and your fights, who are you excited to see?
Oh, in my fights?
Well, other than your robots and your
Oh,
fights.
other than my fights.
Yeah.
Okay, so honestly, one of the things I'm pretty excited to see is I think that there are builders that are really trying much harder to strategize against the big wheel. And I want to see how those pan out. Like last event, we saw a modified Prometa fight Grander. I think it went really well for Zach. And there's two more top-notch 12-pound big wheels in this finals. And I'm just curious to see if that strategy pans out. Because if it does, I think that's going to change a lot of the four-wheel drive vert strategy from here on out.
Do you have your own big wheel strategy right now?
Just the same one that's worked for me. Drink, pop a Red Bull, be real light on the sticks, practice my donuts, eat a donut.
What kind of donut?
Huh?
What kind of donut?
I'm real partial to Boston cream. Yeah,
Good.
There you go.
Bring one from
Yeah.
Boston.
I'm actually a Boston transplant technically, so
It's okay. You can still bring one from
it's
there.
learned behavior. Boston
Yeah.
is great.
For extra
Very
power,
cool.
go to the original Dunkin' Donuts.
There you go.
Which one's the original Dunkin' Donuts?
That's
It's
in like
in Newton, I think.
yeah, that's in like I was gonna say that's in like deep Massachusetts. That's not near Boston.
Not that far.
Just do it at 6 a.m. on your way down.
It's in
It's
Quincy.
fine.
It's like 25
Quincy,
minutes away.
Yeah, it's
okay.
not that
There
far.
you go.
For the power
Okay.
boost, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that was our Ryan's Game Corner / November look forward. So that was very cool. Thank you, Ryan, for that. You know, we're going to be talking more about the draft going into next year because our beta of the draft this year went so well, and we know there's going to be a lot of interest going into next year. So it's, you know, we're looking forward to seeing what it's going to look like and talk a little bit more about it on each episode of before an event. So very cool. So we are going to move from the game corner and into our signature segment, which is called 5 in Focus. And for this, each of us have a question to ask you, Jamison. And this time I kind of arranged them between, it goes serious question, not so serious question, not so serious question. So we're going to start
Category
off,
to put me in.
not so, what do you think, Thomas?
I don't know.
I never know with
Not
you.
I never know
I don't know.
either.
He's the wild card. That's
Like,
what he's
question
there for.
isn't one until like 3 seconds before I ask it.
You're in between Tony's semi-serious question and my question at the end. So, Ryan, I have you going first.
Integrate.
Okay. My question, Jamison, is you have become quickly one of the most well-known builders in all of combat robotics. You are the GOAT. You are like, everybody knows you, whether it's people who have only watched BattleBots, it's people that know NHRL, it's people that know all the events that you've ever been in. What has it been like becoming kind of the celebrity of our like fledgling sport, and people know who you are at all times?
Well, I mean, honestly, I try not to think about that too much, and that's for two reasons. For one, I don't want to like grow some giant ego, and two, it reminds me of how old I am. I've been fighting robots at this point for like 21 years. So some people have like in previous events have just said, "Wow, that's longer than I've been alive," or something. I'd be like, "That's a cool fact, I think." I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me too. And so I don't know. It's true. My robots they do pretty well. I think that part of that is sticking with something that you really enjoy, and just by nature of being around and being present in the sport for so long, people will tend to know you. So I think one aspect is, I am seeing some success, but also staying present in the community, being an active member. People just remember your name, and I try to be helpful more often than not helpful when I can. So people tend to remember you that way, and I'm happy that I think I'm seen in a positive light. I hope to keep that going. You know.
I always like the first time that we met you, we were like,
I was literally going to say that.
Oh my God, Jamison Go is here, and we could actually like meet Jamison Go. And you're so nice all the time. You're so willing to like talk to people that when you don't have like a ton of stuff to do and you have to be like, I'm busy right now. I can't talk to you right now. But you're always like nice, and you're always like really down to earth person. It is great. It is the best thing. And I really appreciate how you are in the community. It's always been like one of those things of, I don't know, like, and I mean, it's not just you. It's like a lot of the BattleBots builders, when you like meet them, you're like expecting to be like, oh, this person was on TV. They're like famous. And it's like, no, that person's like really just here to do the same thing you're here to do. And they're just as excited about it as you. And it's the best.
I was going to say, it was a weird transition between first meeting you and going, oh my God, that's Jamison Go, and then being behind the desk and going, I have to go tell Jamison Go that he has 10 minutes to get his robot ready.
Hey, we'll put your top plate on.
Yeah, for better or for worse, we are all of us TV people. We're very human, you know.
Yeah.
we're here because we love fighting robots. We love the community. We love participating. So nothing's really changed. We being the same people. We're authentic. I'm the same way. So I have good times. I got bad times. That's the same. Very human.
I get knocked down, but I get up.
But I get up again.
Yeah.
Yep. Old enough.
And now we know how old we are.
Old enough.
So Ashley knew that a lot of people were going to ask you robot questions, so she wanted to ask you a human question. So Ashley, why don't you ask him your question?
Thomas's line somehow unbelievably fed right into my question. I don't know if you planned that or not, but what kind of music do you listen to?
I will answer your very human question in a robot voice. No, I'm just kidding. What kind of music do I listen to? Oh man. Okay, so I grew up in the suburbs of Orlando, Florida, and for whatever reason, we had just like mixed radio all the time. So that sort of listening to that for all my young and teenage years has kind of informed my music taste, which is I'm leading into is everything. So yeah, I have my standard driving to work playlist is like anything from K-pop to like Evanescence to some country thing to electronic, and it's all just in there. And there's punk, it's very confusing. I got show tunes as well. I had some Greatest Showman on the way home.
There you go. Yeah,
it's literally everything. Some songs don't even have words.
Yeah,
those are the best songs. Words of fate.
Sounds like my playlist. It's all over the place.
Do you have a specific playlist for building, a specific playlist for like hyping yourself up for fights?
Well, I've been kind of taking advantage occasionally of Spotify's recommended playlists of my stuff, which is like, hey, do you want to listen to something with high BPM today? And it'll take a lot of, some of a subset of my songs, and it'll just like play that at me or something. Or I want some upbeat mix, and it'll give me some like Bruno Mars or something of that genre. I think sometimes the lack of words does get me into some sort of focus mood. So there's a lot of I don't know, for whatever reason, just those like epic anime themes just hit me hard. Yeah. So there's some like epic rendition of whatever season of anime or of some particular anime that I like, and it's just so epic, man. Something about it. You want to chill out and you play like Capybara Lo-Fi or something. There's a music for every mood.
Yeah, I feel that. That's kind of what, if you look at my Spotify like list, it kind of does that. And I didn't have a lot of that. I don't want to call them kid songs, but until I had kids, I didn't have a lot of that kind of stuff in there, and now I do. I have Golden, of course, is in my playlist just because my son is obsessed with that movie, the Keep Out Demon Hunters. So well. Yeah. I have Takedown. I love Takedown. I think that's one of my favorite songs from that movie. But yeah, I feel like I feel you with that music choice. Mine goes to every different area of the music genre that there could be. So
actually, like soda pop. It's like like an earworm that just gets into you,
Yeah, I love that scene in the movie too. So I'm sure you don't know what I'm talking about, Ryan.
I haven't watched it. I must confess I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Even if you don't have kids, it's a pretty good movie. So,
I find myself either watching movies I've watched a million times or watching movies that's like I meant to watch this forever. Like I watched Sisu the other day, and that was like a mind-blowingly good movie, and it was just like, yeah, not K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, actually, that is one thing that I'll play as well. What I'm building is some movie that I've seen a billion times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how many times have I played Casino Royale in the background?
There you go.
Because you don't have to watch it. You just listen to it and you know what's going on. It's like nice back.
I'm a comfort movie guy. Like I would much rather be watching a movie that I know and I know what's going to happen than trying to put on something new that I don't know what's going to happen. I know that says a lot about my anxiety and stuff like that, but still, it's like a comfort thing.
The other day I saw that all of the Austin Powers were leaving Netflix soon, so I was like, I must watch all of the Austin Powers directly in line today, right now. And I did, and it was excellent.
Austin Powers movie marathon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay, Tony, all you.
So I've asked all of the guests very educational type questions. What would you tell 10-year-old Jamison Go to enhance his lab?
Would I tell 10-year-old Jamison Go? Oh man. All right. What was 10-year-old Jamison Go doing at the time? What grade is 10 years typically? I don't remember.
Fourth?
Third grade?
Around there?
Fourth?
Third, fourth grade? Yeah, right around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jamison. You're about to get sucked into the biggest hobby of your life. It will literally define you. Give in all the way.
Just let the robots take over.
Yeah.
Everything that you were
Robots
thinking about
win.
doing, just do it because it's been the greatest adventure of your entire life. No regrets. Dive in that dumpster. Get that sheet metal. That was fun. Keep doing it. Yeah, I mean that was what I used to do. I think BattleBots was actually on the air at that time. I mean, I kind of got this a bit of a delayed reaction to seeing any of the episodes because we weren't a cable TV household, so I would actually get them from my dad's friend. He would record them on VHS and then bring them home when he could. So we would watch it on VHS tapes. For all the listeners, you should go look up what a VHS tape is. And I mean, it was cool, and I was hooked. And it led into a whole hobby of trying to make stuff from whatever I had, which I mentioned dumpster diving. That was a real thing. Just to get the materials to build whatever robots that were kind of, tickling my brain at the moment that I thought were cool and wanted to make little steel replicas of. So just turn one thing into the next.
Cool.
Yeah, keep doing it.
What were some of your first robots when you were maybe not 10, but some of your first robots when you first started out? What did those look like?
Robots. I should also add to that. There's a local surplus store that I used to go to all the time, and I would just love to go in there and browse the aisles for random stuff and wonder what it was actually used for. A lot of airplane parts ended up there. An entire traffic light was there one time, and like missile housings on the ceiling. It was this is kind of neat. I wonder what that's made of. I wonder if that's active or not. Okay, my first robots. I'll tell you the first robot from the original TV show that just really got me hooked, because it had so many moving things, was Atomic Wedgie, if anyone remembers that one. So it was a cheese wedge shaped thing. It had treads, top and bottoms, independently. So you could do the tread thing driving normally. You could throw robots over the top. And it also had these kind of spinner things on the back corners. It had just so many moving things. I thought it was just super cool. So I remember I was trying to make a functional replica out of casings of hard drives that I because they used to be really big and sheet metal-y. So I would just take it apart and be like, oh, that looks kind of like a wedge, and then just bend this little bit there, and then I would take two of them and I made a cheese wedge. And I was like, all right, what do I need next? How do I make treads? What can I make treads from? Going through my Legos, taking apart my brother's models to go harvest his for parts, realizing that it wasn't going to work the way I thought. And then just kind of scrolling through catalogs. My dad is an engineer, so he's like, here, look at this parts catalog. And it was basically the McMaster book. So I'm just yeah, my daily read was just look at this picture of this part. I wonder what it does. Like, this one is different from that one. What's the deal with that? And then that was kind of like my first attempt at a project, which was, long story short, unsuccessful.
Yeah.
But the first robot I actually finished, my parents had recognized, hey, he has an interest in RC things and, making things move. So let's buy him a foamy model aircraft. So I got this transmitter. It was 72 megahertz. It's air radio. Back in the day when you need crystals, I know. Everyone these days is 2.4 gigahertz. Forget about it.
Crystals was the best.
Yes, crystals. So they got me this airplane kit, and it had like NiCad batteries, it was heavy. Everything else was made of balsa and foam, and I proceeded to not build the kit because I wanted to use the RC equipment to build something else. And to no one's surprise, it was a fighting robot. So I had this. I built a shelf spinner because the other robot I thought was cool was Captain Shredderator.
Yeah.
Which was, I think it was something else, named something else, Frisbee at the time. Yeah, it was Frisbee. And so I got this tuna can. It was family size, so it had more volume in it. I needed that because I needed the space. And I had the motor for the propeller, so I had that. And I had these servos, and I had learned from the internet that you can hack them so they run continuously instead of going limited degrees. And I made some wheels out of bottle caps with rubber bands glued with hot glue on it. So I just stuck that on the end. And the base was a butter tin, like a Fleischmann's butter tin plastic thing. Anyways, I stuck all these things together, 9-volt battery, yada, yada, yada. And I made this shell spinner with a tuna can. And I made these teeth out of stuff I got from the dumpster. It was zinc plated, like galvanized, like ducting steel. I bent it into a little U shape, drilled some holes, bolted it on there. Luckily not hot glued. That was an unacceptable choice. It's fun. I could drive really, really slowly. That was my first successful project.
Did it spin fast though?
I would say, I think if you let it, if you had a fully charged 9-volt battery, which remind you like 150 milliamps. So that thing was crying. If you had a fully charged 9-volt, you could get some speed behind it, enough to scratch plastic.
That sounds dangerous.
It was probably an age-appropriate spinner, to be honest.
Yeah.
Age-appropriate spinner, if such a word can ever be said.
So Thomas always has a secret question he does not tell us beforehand. So I never know where to put him in the lineup of questions. So Thomas, please ask Jamison your super secret question.
I mean, it's so secret, I don't even know the question either. You could not ask me. So, JMO, you were just at the MIT house battle at MIT. And
where we made some noise.
Oh, yeah, we made a lot of noise. And we made no fire. It was pretty good. But you went to MIT. So, being back at MIT, are there any people that you saw, any things that you saw, or anywhere that you visited while you were back in that area?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's pretty nostalgic, actually. I remember going to that same building, Walker Memorial, many times for a variety of different events. They have like ballroom dancing. I didn't participate, but I know they did it there. I also did some there's some cultural like Chinese student events there, CSA things. One time they had the mechanical engineering research exhibition there. So they had all of our, you could show off your projects and things like that. And you'd set up a table and it's a symposium of people's research. We also had that in that building. So it's a really multi-purpose space on campus. And I thought it was super cool that, hey, now we're going to fight robots there, in the area. I mean, MIT, it generally keeps its appearances, but the area is definitely changing. In particular, Kendall Square, If you've been there, in the past few years, I actually had that whole area redone for all the T-stops. It's pretty fancy. They moved some buildings around. I actually, being close enough this time, took the T to the event, which is why I had so little things. I just can't carry it in there. It was just really cool. I could just walk over to an event, and seeing the club in particular flourish as it has in the past few years is also super cool. Such an enthusiastic group of students, lots of robots being built, success being had. They have to be incredibly proud with how much they've done in basically a year's time. So I was really happy to see it, just to be a part of it. Couldn't be more proud. And they did it all themselves.
Yeah, they're doing really well. They had the amount of people that they had, how the organization that they had. I mean, they're doing good there.
Okay, cool. Nice question, Thomas. I like it.
Every so often,
Jamison,
we become great ones.
yeah, we never know what it's going to be. It's either going to be like a touching question, or it's going to be like, if you could be a candy bar, what candy bar would you be like?
Yeah, that was actually a
That's
really
why it's
reasonable
wild.
question.
Yeah.
I was like on my toes, ready. Like, all right, what's he gonna ask?
I figured it would be left field, but all right, Thomas.
It's always what you least expect.
True. You're right.
Just Cuz Robotics brings you the latest and greatest in beetle-weight drive motor technology, the Blitz Lite, mini-size for mighty drive. At under 45 grams, these are the lightest and smallest 6mm shaft drive motors on the market. Our Blitz Lite gear motor includes a fully custom 20mm all-steel gearbox mated to a customized 1604 brushless motor in either 2850 or 3800 kV options. The 29:1 gearbox has a super durable chromoly steel 6mm output shaft and M3 threaded face mounting. The Blitz Lite can deliver the same peak torque as our awesome Dartbox Dragon brushed motors, but are 37% shorter and 25% lighter weight from brushless power. Make your bot a bit lighter with the Blitz Lite, available today at justcuzrobotics.com. That's just C-U-Z robotics.com.
Hey there, bot fans. Are you ready to take your love for the Havoc Rundown to the next level? We've got a ton of ways for you to join the action and support the podcast you love. First, connect with us and fellow robot combat enthusiasts by joining our Discord. It's the perfect place to talk shop, share your favorite bot moments, and stay updated with the latest news and events. Make sure to follow us on Facebook to stay in the loop with episode updates, behind-the-scenes content, and community highlights. It's all happening right there. And if you want to show off your Havoc Rundown pride, check out our merch store on Bonfire. Right now, we've got the official Havoc Rundown logo tee waiting for you. Head to bonfire.com/Havoc-Rundown-T to grab yours today. But wait, there's more. You can also support us directly through our Buy Me a Coffee page at buymeacoffee.com/Havoc Rundown. Every contribution helps to keep the sparks flying and bring you more amazing content. And for the ultimate fans, don't miss our Patreon at patreon.com/Havoc Rundown. As a patron, you'll get exclusive access to bonus content like our Fantasy League drafts, D&D games, special interviews, and other exciting surprises. So what are you waiting for? Join the community, show your support, and keep the gears turning at the Havoc Rundown. We'll see you in the arena. So I had one question down, and I think we're going to change to something different. So the question I'm going to ask you is, across all your designs, what's one overlooked component or system that you think deserves more attention from other builders and more attention in combat robotics altogether?
Just let me stare at my robot for a second. What's an aspect that doesn't get enough attention, that gets overlooked all the time in combat robotics?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I think people are starting to catch on, actually. I would say, combat robotics historically has had such a heavy focus on how hard my weapon's going to hit. Everyone's comparing their size and their speed and their weight and whatever. There's a term for that, but I'm not going to say it. But I think now everyone is kind of like learning the value of durability, and durability comes in many forms, as being heavily armored and stout, or even more recently is how do I kind of absorb hits? There's many ways to actually be durable, and that is to actually have tough armor and be like thick and heavy and dense, or just simply find ways of getting rid of the energy that your opponent gives you, and that's like compliance. Prime example, Jelly Baby, I saw Paige literally twist the robot like 180 degrees and it simply doesn't care. It springs back and everything still works.
Yep.
Actually, to do that is incredibly impressive. I don't think I would do that with any of my robots. Fear of breaking a wire or something. So, mad respect to that. But people are learning that, hey, it's not about having S7 tool steel armor. It's about how am I flexible against impacts? I think that's changed the landscape as people who are traditionally thinking about running the big heavy weapons. You hit them, they fly, but they bounce right back. It's a game of attrition, where I'm expending more and more energy to try and hit you that much harder to get past the fact that you can flex. Your performance by the end of the match is gonna be pretty sad, and then usually the durable robot wins. So I think that's changing how the landscape of designs, how people think about building robots, and I think that's kind of being pulled into the spotlight certainly this year. I kind of wonder what the next thing people are forgetting. Maybe I've forgotten what people are forgetting. It's not ironic.
Or maybe it'll come back around again as we'll go back into mobility or something like that soon. What is
pinions is okay, guys. You can press pinions on. Not everything has to be a D shaft or a hex.
Yeah, but what color retaining compound?
Green, always
Which one
green.
tastes the best?
What color is welding?
What's your Jelly Baby strategy, though?
My Jelly Baby strategy. So this is a uniquely Silent Spring thing. After her latest victory, I went ahead and made myself a set of blades for that purpose. So if I fight Jelly Baby, I will cleave Paige in half longwise.
Whoa.
Ooh, okay. Those are big words for going against Jelly Baby.
I will cleave Jelly Baby in half longwise. Paige will be okay. Let me clarify.
Thank you.
I'll give Paige a handshake, win or lose. But Jelly Baby, you're going down.
Yeah, I think it is interesting. I do agree with the just being able to take those hits, and just we see, like you said, from Jelly Baby, from I guess it is Kazalite going to the top, and just all of those bots that can deflect. People hate to or love to hate him, but full court, like bots like that, just being able to deflect and not taking those hits and not being affected by your very fast spinning weapon, is the more that we see Control getting more points and being respected more, the more we're seeing those judges' decisions going in their favor. And the more that we see those judges' decisions going in their favor, it's gonna skew in the direction of if I can survive all of those hits and I'm still having that aggressive going after and not just, staying in a corner or running away, it's looking better for those control style bots that can survive. So I agree with that.
So there's a meta shift, and I think the judging criteria to an extent is helping with that, since now we're looking at damage as a sum of the match, and maybe not attributing it to a cause. So if you have decreased performance or you run out of battery and you can't demonstrate it anymore, that counts as damage. So if you have a control robot that is energy efficient and you cause your opponent to basically wear themselves out and they can't demonstrate any function by the end, it's going to look good for you.
Yeah.
I do like that definition way better too. That's great.
Much easier.
Yes. Will you make a control bot? Will you bring back Tusken Raider?
Oh, the Tusken Raider is on my the viewer can't see the camera, but I have a done robot shelf with one Megatron and then a Tusken Raider. There's also half a ham shake. No, not ham shake. Tail of 3 hams. There's 1/3 of tail of 3 hams on there. Yeah. Will I bring I make a control bot? I actually have one in the works. Yeah. So it's there. There's a pile of parts in string, and it'll be very exciting.
Okay.
Cool.
I think that actually answers a listener question, but we'll see when we get there.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that was a 5 in focus. Let's move on to the last segment, which is when we go to our listeners and have them ask questions of our guests. So we're going to move right on to the listener mailbag.
You've reached the voicemail of The Havoc Rundown. Please leave your message after the tone.
So we put out who our guest is going to be about a week or two in advance, and we asked our Discord, hey, do you want to ask this person some questions? The last couple have come in very strong. We have quite a few here, so we're going to get through these. Let's see. So we're going to start out with, I believe Matt actually asked the last question first last time, but Matt from Kilico, who drives about Kilico, who was here in November. He says, Jamison, what lessons have you learned from robots, whether it be life lessons, changes to your design process, etc., that you would then turn around and use to help you in your job or career? So what things have you learned in robotics that you've been able to translate into real life?
Well, I mean, obviously there's a billion different technical answers that you could give about what I learned in combat robotics that could help me in life or in my career. Being an engineer, all the technical stuff is fully applicable. So I want to try to throw out something which is a little bit more people skills as for that answer. And it's just to remind yourself that things occasionally, more often than not, won't go as planned, and certainly not to how you planned. And keeping that in mind and kind of teaching yourself to temper your attitude when things don't go right. I think that's incredibly valuable lesson to learn for the workplace, certainly, because you want to be a team player. You're going to be there for hopefully a long time. You want to be respected as a person that can handle pressure well, and so you want to be able to demonstrate that. I think that given the number of things that typically don't go correct in combat robotics is a good opportunity to practice how we handle adversity. So yeah, there's going to be a loss that's really frustrating, or a judge's decision you think is total BS, and you have to take a deep breath, calm down, congratulate your opponent no matter what, and move on. Find the lesson to learn in everything weird that happens, and it's okay to disagree. It's not like you have to stomach everything that doesn't make sense to you, but find what you can learn, and if you feel that strongly about it, be constructive in how you want to solve it for next time. And that's gonna be great for your personal life as well as your career. So try to find opportunities in fighting robots to exercise that.
That was an awesome answer. I love that. Very cool. Okay.
Comes from experience.
Friend of the show who also has his own podcast, Brandon Bennett Young, says, hey, JMO, how do you manage robot stuffs while living in Boston? Heavyweights aside, I'm sure it's still an effort for all the small bots and tools, and hopefully I'll see you in the grand finals.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Boston's a challenge. Boston is definitely a challenge. Everything's really expensive, and certainly space and opportunities to build and test robots is also very much a challenge. So actually, kind of before we started recording, I was talking about my apartment, which is like sub 900 square feet, and it's kind of that's the whole thing. And so to build that many robots in that small space, you have to be very organized. I'm kind of chuckling to myself as I say that. You have to be organized and flexible. So, you think of your space as space and be flexible about how you want to use it, and make sure to clean up after you're done, so you can kind of roll in the next project, and put the other ones in other places. It's a challenge for sure. And then let's not even get into like robot testing. Folks who know my posts from the NHRL Discord know that I have a very favorite parking garage.
I have no idea what you're
Garage at the
talking
time
about.
of the night, which is usually past midnight, where I can guarantee no one is going to come through. Where I can do some basic tests, such as just driving around,
Cutting cars in
definitely
half.
not spin a weapon. not without the precautions. Always the precautions, but you have to find ways to make do. Certainly, when I was at MIT or before that at Georgia Tech, it was much easier, as we had test boxes and the resources of the institute at our disposal to be able to churn out really cool things in proper locations with like nice tables and stuff. But it's a challenge, and you love it enough, you find a way to make it work. It's kind of a scrappy thing that I've got going on, but it's happening.
Cool.
And it's working. It's really working. I hope you know. Do you like pay off the guards at the the garage or something like that? Do they randomly watch you on camera, just like, what is he doing?
I'm
they're
sure
big
they do.
fans.
Okay, I kid you not. One time I was running in the parking garage, and then I had my earmuffs on because it was loud, and he just kind of like sneaks up behind me. He's like, "Yo," I'm like, "What? Where did you come from, dude? There's a robot right there." Like, stand back a little bit. No, what we were talking about, he's like, "What's that?" I'm just like, "Oh, it's a fighting robot." It's like, is that like BattleBots? I'm like, yes, yeah, that one. And that saved me a lot of explaining to do. I'm just like, I never heard that small on TV. I'm like, no, it's a 30-pound rope. It's like that, but smaller. Anyway, I sold him on NHRL, and he's like, dude, that's so cool. I like literally pulled up the page, and he pulled it up. He like, favorite. I'm gonna watch that. It was actually 1 year ago. I don't know if he actually watched it, but he would have watched Megatron do some cool stuff. But yeah, it happens. One time I was actually testing the flame system for saw blades out back by the dumpster, and then there's like a guy who was standing way too close to the building, smoking a cigarette, and he's just like, can you light me? I'm like, you probably don't, not with this stuff. That was the green colorant. Probably not a good idea.
They would probably light you.
I mean, honestly,
he's like, "Can you give me a light, bro?" I'm like, probably not a good idea.
It's probably not anything worse than what's already in that cigarette. So.
True.
Honestly,
it would have been more helpful.
I just also see this like guard going like, "Oh, I should look up BattleBots again," and then he looks at it, he's like, "Wait, that's the guy who just won." Oh, that's great.
Shouldn't be. No
Yeah.
way. BattleBots is in Vegas.
somewhere in here, somewhere in this building, this guy. And I want to encourage him. He might actually start looking.
Yeah.
So Julian Papazian of Mako fame says, big fan, obviously, and he says, any new robots coming in 2026?
Ooh, I'm kind of hoping to make some space on my typical roster for some new types of robots. You know, I kind of go down the list. What haven't I made yet? I haven't made a shell spinner. That's one. I haven't made a real flipper. Yeah, I made a lifter before, but I want to launch robots. I want to feel the itch that Aaron Hill did with his designs. But I want to approach it in a slightly different way based on some other technologies that I've worked on in the past. So I have a concept that I've sketched out. I've taken many showers as I tell people I do shower CAD. So I just kind of like sit there and like design stuff in my head. So it's pretty well thought out at this point. So I'm hoping to build a first run of that in 2026. And, in terms of locomotion, I think locomotion is an interest that's near and dear to me. I also want to attempt the walker bonus. I don't know what weapon it will employ, but, it's going to be different than what Adam put together for drift. But a thing that I do agree with him on that is that it's probably not going to be a, traditional legged walker that we would think, because it's not durable and not weight efficient. But I do have an idea for that as well. So hopefully I'll get to unveil that. I don't know what it's going to go on to, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Shower Cat told me it would.
See, now I'm just picturing. Now you need to get one of those like touch whiteboards that are waterproof and just mount it on your shower wall.
What if you just brought like dry erase markers into the shower?
Yeah. It takes you long, you get all pruny. I don't know. It's just like just spacing out, staring at my favorite tile or something, and just like, yeah, that's how it's gonna work. Cool.
My favorite tile.
The marker idea. Thomas, the marker idea.
Guys. If you're not doing that.
All I can think is that scene from A Beautiful Mind where he's writing all over the window.
That's me in the shower.
Jamison, you've been in the shower 2 hours. What are you doing? I almost got it. I'm almost there. I almost figured it out.
Don't take me out.
Okay.
Hot water. How long were you in there?
So Michael from Team Pandemonium says, hey JMO, have you ever considered hosting a Robot Combat event or starting a league? If so, what would be different between your league and the current leagues available?
In the past, I've hosted a few. I can think of at least one where we had the MIT Mini Maker Fair once upon a time, and I was one of the co-organizers, and I wanted to put on a robot event. This is pretty early on, so actually a lot of the folks that we know now would have attended or were scheduled to attend at the time. Really difficult event. It turns out that 2.4 gigahertz, even with the spread spectrum technology, does not fare well in the presence of Tesla coils. But yeah, I haven't run an event since it's challenging. Everyone who hosts an event, I have a lot of respect for. It's difficult, it's tiring, it takes a lot out of you. And you kind of have to have that space and the resources available. I think right now would be pretty difficult for me to do. I would definitely need a lot of help. My teammates are probably down for it, but I think getting something like a box would be a challenge. During the summertime, a few folks, Tim, Chubby Unicorn, Alex Pick, we were considering running one at a local makerspace in the Alston area called Artisans Asylum. Ultimately, some difficulties didn't pan out in the time frame that we were hoping for. Obviously, it didn't happen, but we were pretty close to making it a real thing. Maybe it'll happen again. I'm not sure.
Okay.
In terms of what would be different, I'm personally not super ambitious at this time. It would probably be just, allowing people to fight more robots. I think maybe after getting more comfortable with the idea of event running, we could start to throw in some cool things. I really enjoy what mass destruction does historically and presently. They used to have this, like, what was it called? The Wheel of Misfortune or something? Like, if you took a postponement, you had to spin the wheel and then consider, like, some wacky punishment, like holding your controller upside down or wearing, like, left-right goggles, like red-blue goggles or something like that. Now they have the Arena Pit Hazard, which is sweet. It's like a flipper pad. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, we are going to get to mass destruction this year. It's on the docket, plan to do that. So
they just posted the next one. It's at the end of January.
Okay, very cool. Megan, our queen of Robot Rumbles, who runs our freestyle at the desk, says, do you have any dream projects you've wanted to build but never had the time or opportunity to do so?
Dream projects. I guess two things. One, here's my silly answer. I've been trying to look at houses lately in the greater Boston area, and there's a lot of things preventing me from doing that. It's very expensive, so that's my funny answer. Maybe my slightly sad answer as well. But actual things I want to do, I'm actually getting more into more traditional robotics as well. So building kind of these custom high density, high power actuators is something that I'm pretty interested in. So like lately, I made these different like gearbox models, like for cycloidal drives and strain wave gears as well. And I've been thinking about how I want to incorporate that into like a multi-degree of freedom robot or a parallel robot. And I don't know, just move stuff around on tables. I have some vision system cameras that maybe I want to do some object recognition with, and just kind of, get my feet wet in this bigger world of manipulation. I think that'd be pretty cool. So one day when I am not working on fighting robots, my 3 fighting robots for this big event coming up, I'll have the time to build more of these things up. Piece parts right now.
Okay, cool. So Brenton from Force of Will Robotics, I don't know if this came across as a question, but I interpret it as a question of what do you think are some of the moments in the history of robot combat that have defined the sport? Or if you could pick like one moment in combat robotics that has defined the sport.
Wow, moments in combat robotics have defined the sport. Well, okay, I guess I'll preface this and say I was never really a Robot Wars person, so the early days of Robot Wars I have no knowledge of. More recent Robot Wars I have seen, so I'll probably know that a little bit better. So a lot of my big moments are kind of defined by the BattleBots era stuff. And so when I think about major moments, is like when designs kind of had their validation, right? Let's think about going all the way back to Son of Waiachi just totally dominating season 3 and kind of showing getting people to the idea of this shuffler idea. And I mean, heck, did BattleBots have, I guess they always tempted people with weight bonuses. They actually delivered onto it, and they demonstrated that power, how powerful it could be. I think that people have been kind of trying to understand the Waiachi mechanism in building a variety of shufflers for some time. And even more recently, that has kind of exploded with the newer architecture that I built for Silent X. Other defining moments, the unveiling of Huge, I think was very cool. Big wheels. In his words, an idea that people said was crazy, and then he did it, and it was incredibly effective.
To the point that some people, I was going to say,
saw time.
to the point that some people had to make adjustments to their robots to fight.
Yes. I mean, you kind of have to. It does very well at what it's designed to do. I think the brilliance of it, Jonathan recognizing that all these robots are kind of a certain shape. And I think that's a fantastic example of how you win in the design phase. So I love how simple a solution that it is. A slight modification, the big wheels. It really is a game changer for how it handled the meta at the time.
I mean, the people that said it was crazy, they're still right, but it does work. So I love the big wheel bots.
Yes. So Alex from Team Pandemonium says, watching Sawblaze and Megatron fights, I've noticed that you often throw the arm forward while the bot is in the air. It seems like you do that to help the robot recover faster by being in a better place to self-right. Is there another reason, and do you make other adjustments for your other robots that are less obvious?
Let's say, so we're talking about driving adjustments, I'll say. The arm, I think, is very interesting for all of my hammer saw robots, and I'm sure a lot of the builders have kind of noticed this in their own hammer saw builds as well, is you can really throw the robot. You can escape from maneuvers. You can even get some translation. You can free yourself. It's a huge advantage, I think. It opens up an entirely new lever of possibilities that you can, maneuvers that you can learn and practice. So there's occasions where, if I'm actively being wedged and I see that first engagement not really going my way, I might just throw the arm to hop the opponent. You can get out of a situation relatively quickly instead of kind of, waiting around to see what happens. Because there's a very small window where you're captured or you can escape, and you need to recognize and then get out of it as soon as possible. If I'm getting flipped through the air, there's for a lot of traditional hammer saw designs, I'm looking at my robot actively as I say this. You kind of have some disadvantageous positions. One I kind of refer to as the open face, which is the arm is back and the robot is basically the longest it could be. From a torque demand standpoint, that's where it needs the most torque. And oftentimes, because the robot will have forks or something, is like a two-step recovery process. So by pre-folding it, if you're getting flipped over, you can at least take away step one of that whole maneuver and basically pop back faster. So recognizing if you're going to get flipped, fold it in so you can pop back as soon as you hit the ground, get some stability. That's going to prevent you from getting followed up on by the opponent.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Tim from Chubby Unicorn says, "Hey Gemmo, when is the flipper coming, and how can I convince you to make it a beetle instead of a feather or hobby?"
I'm probably gonna prototype it in a beetle.
Awesome.
So,
okay.
You can't be convinced, Tim.
Easy question. Next.
Nick from Crafty Cat Combat says, "Hey Gemmo, curious to hear how you think your background helps when designing bots, and what you think you probably do differently than those of us who don't really understand how much of science and engineering of what we're actually doing."
I assume Nick is referring to my background in engineering.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man, I mean it's like 1-to-1. It's very applicable. From the technological standpoint, actually, if I were to be honest, I think that combat robotics actually helps my job more than my job helps combat robotics. Historically, there's just so much that you learn. It's kind of like drinking from the fire hose in combat robotics. You get all of it at once. Whether you're learning about materials or designs, or hey, how do I make this thing fit together the first time better, or reminding yourself that, oh yeah, my screw is like this long, or my tool is this long, and I can't actually tighten this faster from this position. These are kind of lessons that stick with you that you can carry over into your job. Usually in your job, you kind of don't have opportunities to make those mistakes, or you don't internalize them the same way, because in a review process with like some more senior engineers, they'll catch that, they'll point it out. But sometimes the lesson is best learned when you can own it 100% and experience why it's a mistake. So combat robotics has been incredibly helpful in my career. So I might say it's maybe the other way around.
I like that. Princess Mint, which Ashley, I don't know who that is in real life. I just have the.
No, it's
Usagi.
Mint from Usagi. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay,
Yes.
cool. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Says, hey GMO, what are your thoughts on rabbits and other rabbit-shaped creature?
I love rabbits. Like bunnies. What's the difference between a bunny and a rabbit?
One's domestic and usually one's domestic and one's wild. I believe is kind of how.
Are we lumping them together, or are we
They're all lagomorphs.
Yeah.
So, you know,
that's
it's-
yeah. that was a jackalope answer if I ever heard one.
Justin and I both have rabbits. I refer to mine as both bunny and rabbit, but most of the time, just like, oh, that's Pocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a slight preference for the domesticated one because that one will actually let me pet it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot of rabbits, wild rabbits around in like Greater Boston, or actually on MIT's campus there's a lot. But they don't let you pet them.
No. Sometimes domestic rabbits don't like when you pet them either. They have to be in a mood for being pet.
Very true.
Fact.
You have to teach them that treats are a thing, and then they'll let you pet them all the time.
They have huge attitudes too. That's one
Yes,
thing I
they do.
learned. William Marchese says, hey JMO, I keep listening to this guy named Jamison Go. Any advice on how to not lose to him?
This might be my favorite question.
I'm trying to think about a funny answer.
Jam his transmitter.
I actually do. I literally like Adamant Barrage. Like, in all honesty, you know, if I were to match up Adamant Barrage and Psycho together, like that massive reach advantage, it's just so out there, and there's not much like flat area to hit. You know, that's a matchup that I keep track of. You know, I don't know, like William, the time will come. You know, I'm sure the right matchup, the right robot, the right day, who knows? But Adamant Barrage is very cool, and I look forward to fighting you again.
Stephanie from Dark Horse Robotics says, hey Jamison, any plans to come to and compete in the Midwest?
Maybe? I'm trying to remember the last time I traveled with robots. I think it was I went to the Orlando Maker Faire one time in 2014 or something. And then one time I went to Utah for a private Beetleweight event. I don't travel very much with robots anymore. I used to go to Motorama more often as well. I haven't been back there in many years. NHRL being so close and so frequent, that's why it's kind of been my go-to lately. Motorama being 6 hours away. You know, I thought about G-Scroll a few times as well. I thought about it. I thought about SoCal events as well. You know, also Robot Rampage in New Zealand. Very cool. Elaine invites me to go to Shanghai as well to go, fight robots in China. I think about all these things all the time, and then it's so difficult.
And then you
to fight
look at
robots.
the robot and the pile of parts and the tools, and
I don't know how people travel with robots so comfortably. I really feel for them, because when I think about what I would have to do, it really is a pretty big challenge, and especially so. Jack was asking if Megatron was interested to come to New Zealand, and at first I'm just like, oh, that would be awesome, and I stare at it like I'm staring at it now, and it is the least convenient shaped robot to travel with. It's sharp everywhere. It's not square. Things don't pack well around it. It's it's probably half the reason why I never fly. I would fly with Psycho. It's pretty square. It fits in a little box. That would be an easy one to go with. Megatron is probably my most iconic active robot, but also the biggest pain to fly with.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Just make the
so-
robots fly the plane.
Yeah. Miles Sims, I think is his last name, from Cold Snap, says, long-time listener, first-time caller. He says, "Hi, JMO. You're widely regarded as one of the best combat robot drivers around. How did you get so good at driving and strategizing?"
Ooh, well, the driving part is just I like to find lots of opportunities to do hand-eye coordination activities. I mean, for the longest time, I played a lot of video games, and I used to do them in like. I would be one of those people that would play the ranked mode. But I haven't done that in a while, and my life has been all that much better because I don't. But that scenario really forces you to try and min-max on your reaction timing and agility, and really know your controls. I think there's a lot of similarities to robots as well. It's like, all right, do I know where all my switches are? When a thing happens, are my thumbs going to react properly? And at this point, I've been doing it so long that it's a lot of muscle memory, as long as I don't change the control scheme, which has remained pretty consistent across all the robots. So they all feed into each other. Strategizing is spending a lot of time observing the interactions between different robots. It doesn't have to be your robot. You can look at someone else's robot and watch their fights. Say like, hey, that robot has a feature I'm really interested in seeing how it works, and you look at it and its fights and whether it pans out or not, and you try to explain why it reacted in a way that was either expected or unexpected. All these fights, the Red Zone has been fantastic for as well, is a wealth of information to learn really fast about what different designs will do. And sometimes it's the small nuances that make the difference. It's sometimes a bit challenging. Actually, regarding fork interactions, I actually built a test rig years ago where I would just simply have sections of floor and build different fork designs with, whether they're, wide or skinny or preloaded or whatever, and I would just run them into each other to see what happens. And see which one would win a head-to-head more often than not. So do your own subcomponent testing, if you want to.
That's excellent. That is excellent.
Jake made his own floor traction force tester. That was pretty cool. For his cleat designs.
Yeah.
You could quantify how good his cleat design was. I mean, that's some awesome stuff. We should make more test rigs like that.
I could have sworn there was a lot of questions from him about what the paint was on the floors and everything like that.
Yeah.
Too.
What was the relative humidity that day?
Yes.
Well, one thing we learned, because we did the Bots Around the World, Jamison, and we talked to Ben in Australia, and we learned that they use MDF in some of their cages, and I just thought that was insane, because if you tried to use cleats on MDF, your bot would just sit there and not go anywhere. So.
Yeah, it'll probably saw it up.
Yeah.
MDF is we used to use that in the old Florida combat robotics. We used the rough side up. I've also seen places do smooth side up. That was like driving on ice.
I can imagine, yeah. Okay, so I have 3 left. The first one is a grouping from Che and Rain from Happy Birthday. Rain is, I think, 10.
I love that robot. I watched him on the stream. That was so great.
So Rain says, "Hi Jamison, if you could design a really silly robot, what would it be?"
A really silly robot? Oh man. I mean, I did the ass bots with Charles one time. I mean, are the hams insufficiently silly? I think if I can't be silly with like a theme, then I can be silly in how it moves or how you control it.
Yeah. The hams definitely qualify. Yeah.
With the alternate controller idea. So we need to think about something else.
Well, no, you could just have a drum battle.
I'm looking at you. We're gonna have a drum off.
Yeah.
No,
I think a big part of the hams I always really enjoyed is dividing the responsibility amongst multiple people in a non-intuitive way. You know, it's kind of like usually it's you're the weapon guy, I'm the drive guy or whatever. Now it's like no, we're half. You know, there's 2 weapon motors. You get one and I get the other one, and you need to not burn out the other side when we are not agreeing on when to spin up or whatever. It makes some like we have the Fanwango friend group, right? It's Aaron, myself, and Zoe. Zoe doesn't come to NHRL very often, but we used to build robots together. We had an idea for an Omni drive robot where each one of us gets one of the 3 Omni wheels. That's awesome. So that would have been a hoot, because going forwards would be really difficult.
Yeah.
So my first thought with the alternate controller is you bring Sawblaze, and Sawblaze is driving Megatron. Just by someone.
What does that mean?
I don't know. All I can think is like,
you know, there's like the immersive experience, those like running tiles for like a first person shooter or something. You put Sawblaze on top of a dyno for each wheel, and when it drives, Megatron drives.
Excellent.
And then from Che, who is Rain's mom, she asked a really awesome question that we had to put in here. She says, "Hey Jamison, thanks for inspiring my son to not only pursue combat robotics, but to adopt your fight stance, which he implemented in his first NHRL in November." She said, "We met your parents." She said, "We met your parents last year at World Champs, and they're incredible people. What would you say were some of the key things that they did as parents to nurture and encourage your passions, and what impact has that had on your life?"
No, I think they're already doing it. It's being present. You know, it's supporting your kids and the things that they love to do. I mean, that's like my earliest memories, and really throughout the entire experience. I remember when I first scoured the dial-up internet and found this website called BuildersDB that was promising miniature fighting robots at the 3-pound class. And I said, "Mom, I'd like to go to that. Mom and Dad, I'd like to go to that." And they're like, "Is this real?" You know, it's a few hours drive over there. But you know, my pleading, we went because they knew I love BattleBots that much, and you know, that was the start of it all. Fighting robots. They came with me. They filmed it on our enormous video recorder device.
Oh yeah.
Motion. It looked like I was holding up a rocket launcher, but no, that's just a camcorder. Yeah, I think that being there, being present, supporting me and my hobby, and I think my dad really enjoyed it, that I decided to pick up an engineering hobby is something he could also really get into. Engineering is his world, so it's something that you know, it's like a fun father-son activity, you know. So
cool.
Will they be at finals this year? We have to know.
They are coming, yes.
Yay!
Yeah,
Awesome.
Exciting.
they're very excited.
Did you give them any of your dumpsters? Do they have any of your dumpsters or any of your trophies at their house?
That's a good idea. Maybe I should give them one.
For Christmas, there you go.
Well, so actually, I mean, obviously, the giant nut was probably one of my life's biggest achievements. And really happy. There's so many people I have to thank for that. And I wanted to do a little surprise for them, my team, and my parents. So actually, at the conclusion of it, I actually measured the giant nut and made this whole batch of mini nuts, like perfect half-scale dimensions. They're threaded on the inside too, and I got them engraved with like this. I measured the font and like drew all the letters, so it was like a perfect replica, and was able to try and share the trophy with everyone in a reasonable way, you know. So
Yeah.
my parents have employee of the month. They all say employee of the month. Like my mom and dad, thanks for being there. This is the influence you've had on my life. This is because of you. I've gone through this incredible journey, and it's come full circle to the grandest prize of the TV show that got me started into engineering. I have one now. Thank you.
That's fantastic. I'm sure that they love it too. But you could give them for Christmas just a few dumpsters. You got a few laying around. You could just
A few extras.
I'm sure if a Brett happens this time, my mom will be like, "You have some already. How about we take this one home with us or something?"
Come on.
But this is going to be a really tough field this year, honestly. The robots are absolutely incredible, and they get even more incredible every year.
Yeah. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be good.
So I do have a question from one of your competitors. So this is from Shri, and he says, "Hey JMO, you've talked about Silent Spring's retirement a couple times over the last year. What do you think your next entry into the beetleweight class will look like? And also, have you considered not running a wedge against Chonky?"
Have I considered not running a wedge against Chonky?
Yeah, that's the more important
I mean,
question.
Everything's on the table, man. It's not about a wedge to fight a horizontal spinner. Just saying, and I'll leave it at that. Regards to, I've been hinting at it. I mean, Silent Spring is like a 10, 11-year-old robot. I love the robot. I think it's so much fun. It's one of those that I can pretty safely take it to an event. It might get destroyed. More often than not, it survives, whether it wins or not. And it's like dependable fun. So I really enjoy that robot. So it'll be sad. I am hoping to retire it in the near future. I hope that this December is going to go out with some flair. But as much as Tim's earlier question about when's that flipper going to happen, I mean, and or the walker prototyped on a small scale. I mean, there's so many things that I have in mind.
Yeah.
And I won't make the flipper walk because that would be too slow.
It'd be funny.
Okay, so I have one last question in the mailbag. It comes from Cam from Sad Octopus. He says, "Hey JMO, through BattleBots and NHRL Glory, you have become known as one of, if not the greatest to ever do the sport. With that being said, have you ever been recognized or had any funny or cringe fan interactions just being out in public?"
Yeah, I mean, certainly closer to when BattleBots was on the air. Occasionally it would happen. Definitely all my coworkers at the time knew that I competed in BattleBots and things like that, so they would all be very up to date with it. So like the as soon as I came back from well, no, it's not as soon as I came back. After the show aired, the finale, like I just come in to work the next day and everyone just like dumped all these nuts on my table, and they had someone like printed out a picture of me like flexing with the nut, and they just like slapped it on my monitor. It's great. It's like a hero's welcome of this day and age. Yeah. Oh, I got some other stories. Maybe I'll save them for later.
Okay. What is it like though, knowing the outcome of the end of the BattleBot season and not being able, like having to stay quiet about that the entire time?
Oh, I mean, it goes without saying, we were all really excited. And you try not to reveal it either directly or indirectly, saying like, "Gee whiz, Sawblade's page is awfully active this season. I wonder why," or something like that. You try to keep, I think, not ruining the experience for everyone that doesn't know, I think is pretty important, because I love a good season of anything where it's not revealed to me. So we want to be consistent throughout. And I mean, we have our weekly meetings, like the Saw Blaze team weekly meetings. I think that's kind of our opportunity to vent our excitement a little bit. Like when John his photos come through for the week, and we'll just like, all right, gonna share them out, yada yada. We got this on the docket, whatever. Prepare XYZ event. It helps us dissipate some of that energy, because I mean, it's a big deal for us. We were so happy, we were so proud of that, and definitely so tired. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to live with a big secret, especially one that you want to talk about, and for basically half a year. But play it cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Be cool. Be cool.
Very cool. So on that note, that wraps up our NHRL Championship review. Big thanks to Jamison for joining us and giving us a look behind the bots and into what it takes to compete at the highest level across BattleBots and NHRL. Thank you so much for being on, Jamison. It's been an awesome conversation.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. I love talking with you guys. I love answering all these questions.
Awesome. So we'll be watching closely on December 6th as drivers from around the world battle it out one last time before the 2025 season ends. And don't forget, we've only got 2 more episodes left before we close out for the year, so make sure you're following and subscribed on Spotify and YouTube. Want to support the show, follow us on social media, grab some merch or any of that kind of stuff. You can find everything in one place at linktr.ee/Havoc Rundown. Again, linktr.ee/Havoc Rundown. And just make note that we'll be changing going into the new year, but we'll talk about that later on. Thanks again to Jamison and the Rundown crew, and to you, our listeners. We'll see you next time, and we'll see you at championships. Everyone say goodbye to our listeners.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.